everybody, welcome to another Webby On Cars video, and today we're going to be looking at the 2019 Ford Focus Ambiente. So if you haven't heard of the Focus Ambiente, it's probably not too much of a surprise. Ford haven't really made too many noises about it. The main three models, the Trend, the ST line and the Titanium, are probably names you've already heard of. I did have an Ambiente in previous versions of the Focus, but because of lack of popularity, everybody seemed to go for the next model up because they wanted something a little bit more than just a basic model. And that's true of the current generation of the new model Focus, which is called the SA. A lot of people want more power, more connectivity, etc. But for those who are maybe on a budget, don't necessarily want to spend quite that amount of money, or don't want too many gadgets, you know, there's always a market for an entry-level car, and that's what Ford have done with the Ambiente. Now unfortunately they've actually stopped building these things, so they only made them for a very short period of time, maybe because of lack of demand, or they felt for, well, it's basically $2,500 difference between the Ambiente and the Trend, and you get quite a lot more stuff from the Trend, which I'll explain as we go around the car to show you what the differences are between the two. And you know, you can make your own decision as to whether you think the Ambiente is a good idea, or you'd pay the extra $2,500 and go for the Trend model. So let's have a bit of a look around the car. I'll explain some of the differences between this and the Trend and the other models, and yeah, show you what it's all about. So visually from the outside it actually looks very, very similar to the Trend. The only difference really that you will notice is a lack of front fog lamps. So down here where the fog lamps would be on the Trend, you just got this sort of decorative sort of chrome and plastic fill-in section, but other than that on the outside it actually looks identical. You still get the LED daytime running lamps which go around the top and the side of the headlamp. You've got the chrome front grille, so it still looks quite smart. You get the same 16-inch alloy wheels that you get on the Trend as well, so it's not like you're getting, you know, wheel trims or hubcaps or whatever you want to call them. So from the outside it's pretty hard to distinguish the two cars between each other. There's no rear badging, it literally just says Focus on the back. Maybe that's a cost saving exercise, not too sure to be honest. But for whatever reason that's all it says. This particular car is in a colour they call blue metallic, which would have taken them ages to think of that name. But either way, it's actually quite a nice colour. The colour also appears on other things like the Escape as well as obviously all the other models in the Focus range. So yeah, visually on the outside, really can't tell the difference between this and the Trend, and say the only real giveaway is the lack of front fog lamps. For a lot of people, turning on your headlights yourself and your wipers won't be a big issue, although Ford have made available an option pack called a convenience pack for $300, which gives you automatic lights and wipers and automatic dipping rear view mirror. So that would be a bit of a no-brainer if you were going to order one of these, but like I say, you can't because they've stopped building them. So other bits and pieces that that are different between this and the Trend. So when we look inside, you actually miss out on the armrest and sort of centre console that would normally sort of go here, and you think to yourself, oh well, yeah, that's not much of a problem. But when you're driving, you've got, there's nowhere to put your arm, which I don't know about anybody else, but I quite like having an armrest, especially when you've got an automatic gearbox, just to sort of somewhere to put your arm. You do get a USB charging point down here though, which is quite nice, and a bit of a cubby hole just to sort of put stuff in. In here you've got another deep sort of recess. Obviously you can see my phone's in there. There's actually quite a decent amount of storage in there. And you've got these little movable sections here, which obviously you can adjust. So if you've got different sized bottles or coffee cups or whatever, you can actually sort of secure them in place. So that's quite a nifty idea. You've got the same electronic handbrake, and automatic handbrake as well that you get in the other models, so you haven't missed out there. So the gearbox is a more conventional type gear stick arrangement. So if you remember, if you've seen my other video where I looked at the whole Focus range, instead of having a gear stick, you get this dial selector on the Trend ST line of titanium. So this is the only model in the range with a traditional automatic gear lever. You still get the same driving modes that you get on the other models as well, so you don't miss out there. Traction control off. The other difference is this doesn't get stop-start system, which I think I mentioned when I was outside the car. Not that that's necessarily a deal breaker, I don't think. Obviously you've got air conditioning, which is standard. You've got cruise control there on your steering wheel. Buttons on there for the audio system. If we look over here, so you've got the floating tablet design screen that is obviously in cars nowadays, which is sort of quite common, but the layout is slightly different. So on the left we've got the entertainment, and on the right hand side it shows up when your phone is connected. But what's missing from this is built-in satellite navigation. So where the other models in the range also get built-in satellite navigation, this just gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which for a lot of people isn't necessarily a deal breaker, because I know a lot of people will just plug their phone in because they obviously want to charge their battery at the same time. And then obviously when you've got CarPlay connected, you can use obviously the mapping information from your phone. You could use Google Maps if you preferred. You know, if you don't like the Apple Maps or the standard maps that come on your phone, you can use Google. Or there's Waze as well, which is another navigation system. Then you can also do things like Spotify and other music sort of apps on your phone as well. So you don't necessarily miss too much by not having built-in nav. Like I say, the display just looks slightly different, but it's the same size and it's still touchscreen and voice controlled. But yeah, it just misses out on the navigation function. Safety wise, the Ambiente still gets autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection. You've also got the traffic sign recognition and the lane keeping aid as well. So it doesn't skimp out on the basic safety items that you'd expect these days. So what's it like to drive? Well, I've been driving it around for the last sort of half an hour or so, and it feels like every other Focus in the way that it handles, you know, the steering, that type of thing. You do notice the difference of not having the turbocharger. Around town it's not too bad, because, you know, it wasn't that many years ago when 90 kilowatt was fairly standard in a car of this type. It's just that, you know, the game has moved on, everyone's putting turbochargers in, and obviously getting more performance and better economy out of these cars now. So yeah, as an around town car, I think it'd be fine. If it's someone's first car when they've just passed their test, it would be fine too. Or somebody who's maybe, you know, somebody who's a little bit older and doesn't want a high performance car and lots of gadgets, it would fit that bill really, really well. So yeah, it has its place, but obviously Ford have decided that you know, there's not enough demand for it, so we're going back to just Trend ST line and titanium. And then obviously early part of 2020 we're going to have the new Focus ST arriving as well, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to. There will be a video on that for sure. But yeah, the Ambiente is a good car. Misses a few bits and pieces from the Trend, but you save some money. They're very, very rare. So this one, I think, is the only one we've got in stock at my work. So if you do want to, you know, get a cheap, medium-sized hatchback, this could be the car for you. So if you've got any questions, any thoughts or opinions on the car, the video, maybe any of the cars you'd like me to see or to make a video of, feel free to drop me a message or put some comments below. Also check out my Instagram page as well, which is also called Webby On Cars, and head over to that, and yeah, there's plenty of content there of all sorts of stuff motoring wise. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all the likes and comments that my videos are getting. For some strange reason, the Focuses are very, very popular. They're obviously you know, a popular car in Europe, so I'm guessing that's where a lot of views and comments are coming from. But please keep watching, there's plenty more videos to come. If you don't want to If you want to be obviously notified of new videos coming out, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and watch out for some more videos to come. There's more stuff coming before the end of the year. Plus, as I said, Focus ST is turning up next year, and so is the Fiesta ST, and also Mustang R-Spec. So there's lots of good stuff coming. So thanks for watching, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Cheers.